Welcome to the review. Today we're traveling back to 1989 with a look at 10 short-lived and failed cartoons. Leave a comment below with which one of these you remember and which ones deserved a longer run. Kicking off the list at number 10 is Ring Raiders.
Ring Raiders, reach for the sky. Ring Raiders, we're gonna fly.
Based on the 1980s toy line by Matchbox and set in the year 1998. The series follows the Justice Crew, also known as the Ring Raiders, led by Commander Victor Vector and his crew of hotshot fighter pilots.
We call ourselves the Ring Raiders. We've earned the right to wear this Ring Raider flight ring, which gives us special abilities.
Versus the Skull Squadron, led by Scorch and his crew of evil pilots, as they wage aerial battle and travel through time. Known for the catchphrase, "The command is in my hand," each episode followed a similar formula. Scorch comes up with an evil plan. The Ring Raiders swoop in to save the day in a series of aerial dogfights. Scorch somehow escapes and the episode ends.
Vector, he stopped me again. Sooner or later, one way or another, he'll pay. I swear it!
The stories were a bit bland, and the series was clearly created to sell merchandise. The toy line consisted of 12 planes, 6 Ring Raiders, and 6 Skull Squadron, which you could wear on your finger like a ring and wage battle with your buddies. Also, 4 different bases and battle blasters, which you wore around the wrist that had 3 different sound effects, as well as a short-lived comic book with 6 issues. Starting out as a 2-hour movie special, the series was expanded with 5 additional episodes. However, they were unable to compete with action figure heavyweights like G.I. Joe and Transformers, which led to poor toy sales, along with poor ratings, and the series was canceled abruptly. Coming in at number 9 is The Karate Kid.
Karate Kid.
Based on the series of movies of the same name, the cartoon follows Daniel LaRusso, Mr. Miyagi, and an Okinawan girl named Taki.
Mr. Miyagi!
Go, Miyagi be home for supper.
A miniature shrine with magic powers is taken from its resting place in Okinawa, and it's up to the trio to recover it. Each episode follows a similar formula. Mr. Miyagi gets a lead on the shrine's location. Daniel and Taki follow up on it, and in the process encounter villains who have either obtained or are seeking to obtain the shrine for their own evil purposes. After engaging and defeating the villains, Daniel comes close to retrieving the shrine, only to have it escape from his grasp by random chance, thus ensuring that the search continues into the next episode.
The shrine!
The cartoon was released just a few months after Karate Kid 3 premiered in theaters, and was originally planned for a daily syndicated show with 65 episodes. However, NBC cut the run to just 13 after poor ticket sales at the box office. The Karate Kid cartoon felt a bit repetitive and hokey for fans of the movies, and was way too much of a departure. The series just didn't catch on, and NBC pulled the plug after just 1 season. At number 8 is The Legend of Zelda, a cartoon that really hits that nostalgic itch for me.
Hero.
Hey, excuse me, princess.
Loosely based on the popular NES game of the same name, the story follows Link and Princess Zelda in the Kingdom of Hyrule, as they protect the Triforce of Wisdom from the evil Ganon. Unlike the video game, the princess is not captured by Ganon, and is actually a bit of a badass. She fights evil right alongside Link. A running gag throughout the series is the love-hate relationship between Link and Zelda. Link is always trying to kiss her, and Zelda, well, hates it.
What do you want?
A kiss. Come on.
No.
The cartoon was a decent adaptation of the game. From the music and sound effects to the character design, it felt like the game come to life. However, the dialogue was a bit bland, and the story felt pretty repetitive. Airing as part of the Super Mario Super Show, while Monday through Thursday featured a Mario Brothers cartoon, on Fridays we got The Legend of Zelda. Airing just 13 episodes in total, the cartoon disappeared once the Super Mario Super Show was canceled. In 2005, the entire series was released on DVD. Along with the 13 episodes, they also contain some interactive games and a drawing tutorial. Coming in at number 7 is The Further Adventures of SuperTed. Based on the Welsh animated series SuperTed by Mike Young, which followed an ordinary teddy bear that was transformed into a superhero by an alien named Spotty. Whenever trouble arises, SuperTed whispers his secret magic word and transforms into the superhero adorned with red suit, cape, and rocket boots. As SuperTed and Spotty travel across the world, and sometimes even space, to help others in need, they find themselves up against evil. This new American version of the show takes on a more epic format, with Texas Pete, Bulk, and Skeleton also joined by new villains. The theme song was also replaced with a more American overture, and the show poked fun at all aspects of American culture, from the Grand Ole Opry to Star Wars. In the U.S., SuperTed was voiced by Danny Cooksey, right before he played Budnick on Salute Your Shorts, and this was one of the biggest complaints from fans of the original series, stating the voice change was unnecessary, and Ted sounded like a little kid.
I really have nothing against you personally. It's just that I'm probably the meanest teddy bear in the whole world. Goodbye.
Produced by Hanna-Barbera and released for syndication on January 31st, 1989, the series ran for just 13 episodes before being canceled. At number 6, we have McGee and Me, and Completely Christian. Each half-hour-long episode centers on Nick, his cartoon friend McGee, and the moral lessons they learn as Nick adjusts after moving to a new town. McGee and Me deals with issues such as honesty, bullying, and faith in God.
Hey, Doofus! Nice poster, McGee.
Released June 4th, 1989 as part of the ABC Weekend Specials. Most who remember the series, though, remember it strictly on VHS, either borrowed from the library, watched in church groups, or in private school, and mention how certain episodes traumatized them for life. The live-action segments were pretty poorly acted.
That's right, and everyone who helps gets to sleep inside tonight.
However, the animated segments were fun, colorful, and entertaining. Only 9 episodes were produced for the original series. In 1993, the series was revived entitled The New Adventures of McGee and Me, with an additional 3 episodes. Number 5 brings us to Rude Dog and the Dweebs.
I was sneaking in people and scoping the scene, copping a major toot. When I cut loose this bunch of dweebs, whoa, I've been trying to teach them some rude. Dog, that is.
Rude Dog and the Dweebs. Rude Dog. Such a rude dog.
Yo, dudes, get rude.
Based on the Rude Dog character from Sun Sportswear, which was part of a line of surfing and skateboarded-related clothing. Lots of neon and lots of attitude. Produced by Marvel Productions, the series follows Rude Dog, who drives a pink Cadillac and runs a package delivery service in Beverly Hills.
Cruising and schmoozing. Schmoozing and cruising.
Hi, Rude Dog.
Tough gig, right?
He lives in a garage with a group of 7 other dogs called the Dweebs. Their enemies include a vicious cat named Seymour, dog catcher Herman, and his dim-witted Rottweiler assistant Rot. Each week, Rude Dog and Company balance their delivery duties with attempts to elude the persistent Seymour, Herman, and Rot.
All we gotta do is nab that couple, and we got ourselves a whole bunch of dweebs behind bars.
Released September 16th on CBS as part of their Saturday morning cartoon lineup. The series ran for just 13 episodes before being canceled due to low ratings. The cartoon received generally negative reviews, noting that the series appeared to glorify rudeness.
Oh, dweebs, you can stop with the 20 guesses, all right? I don't think our unexpected guest here knows who or what he is.
On top of that, the animation was pretty poorly done. And in all honesty, I remember the clothing line more than the actual cartoon itself. At number 4, we have probably the most obscure title on the entire list, Vytor the Starfire Champion. The series followed Vytor, a primitive tribesman who possesses the Starfire ring, which gives him supernatural abilities. He teams up with a brave female warrior from the futuristic city in the sky. The two must battle an evil warlord who holds an orb of tremendous power. He just needs the ring to conquer the world.
Search every village on the island and find the ring.
The series was very expensive to produce, due to the use of early computer graphics mixed with traditional cell animation. And because there was no toy deal in the works, only 4 episodes were produced before fading into obscurity. And the series was only shown in a few select markets, which makes it even more rare. The cartoon was actually pretty decent. The story was easy to follow, the animation was good, and I think it definitely could have run longer. World Events Productions released all the episodes in a 2-disc DVD in 2006, with the individual episodes and a version of them edited together into a feature. At number 3, we have Dink the Little Dinosaur. The series followed Dink and his 4 friends as they explore and dwell in the volcanic landscape of a place called Green Meadow. The series was designed to help children navigate the world of friendship and making friends. The stories fostered positive behaviors, such as caring about oneself and others, tolerance, ecology, problem solving, and teamwork.
You eat Scat. Scat won't be your friend anymore. I can't eat a friend.
Released September 16th on CBS as part of its Saturday morning cartoon lineup. The series did actually run for 2 seasons with 21 episodes, and even partnered with McDonald's, releasing 6 kids' meal toys. But that doesn't necessarily make it a success. Critics called it boring and generic, and many considered the show an obvious ripoff of The Land Before Time, failing to establish its own unique identity. The series was eventually rerun on Boomerang in the early 2000s, giving yet another generation a glimpse into the past. Coming in at number 2 is Paddington Bear.
Shy and modest, smart and honest, none can compare. When you need a friend, you know he's gonna be there. He's the finest, funnest bear you'll find anywhere. Cheerful, charming, Paddington Bear.
Based on the beloved stories by Michael Bond, this version of Paddington Bear is one that a lot of people forget even exists. And no, this isn't the classic British version most fans remember. This was the Americanized take. Produced by Hanna-Barbera as part of the fantastic world of Hanna-Barbera. The setup is familiar. A polite little bear from Peru living in London with the Brown family gets into gentle, well-meaning mischief.
Things are always happening to me. I'm that sort of bear.
But this version added a new character, an American cousin named David, who was inserted into the cast alongside Jonathan and Judy Brown.
I'm your Aunt Mary. Let's have a look at you. My, how you've grown. How old are you now?
I'm 12 and a half.
And that change didn't exactly win everyone over. While the show followed the same general formula, Paddington causing chaos and then somehow making everything right, many felt it lacked the charm and warmth of the original British adaptations. The series ran for just 13 episodes, and interestingly, that was by design. It wasn't canceled in the traditional sense, it simply ended. Still, even if it wasn't a failure, it's one of those versions of Paddington that tends to get overlooked. Because when it comes to this character, most fans will always go back to the classic interpretation, marmalade sandwiches and all. At number 1, we have the shortest run on the entire list, just 1 episode. X-Men, Pryde of the X-Men. Just as Teenage Mutant Kitty Pryde is welcomed into the X-Men, the team is thrown straight into action, battling Magneto and his brotherhood of evil mutants, who are attempting to crash a comet into Earth.
Don't worry about us, Dingo. We'll make sure we can.
The pilot draws heavy inspiration from Uncanny X-Men issues 129 to 139, one of the most iconic story arcs in X-Men history. Interestingly, the funding for this pilot originally came from a planned 13th episode of RoboCop, the animated series. Marvel redirected that budget to produce this standalone X-Men introduction instead. Unfortunately, shortly after the pilot was completed, Marvel ran into some serious financial trouble and halted further production, leaving this as a one-off. It first aired in syndication on September 16, 1989, as part of the Marvel Action Universe, and was later released on VHS. While it gave fans an early animated look at the X-Men, it was criticized for its campier tone, especially compared to the darker, more mature themes of the comics.
Then I really am a mutant. I'm a freak.
The pilot's legacy didn't end there, though. In 1990, LJN released the Uncanny X-Men for the NES, featuring a nearly identical team lineup, only swapping out Dazzler for Iceman. Unfortunately, the game was widely panned, and has since been labeled one of the worst superhero games ever made. Despite its short run, Pryde of the X-Men remains a fascinating what could have been, laying the groundwork for a far more successful X-Men the Animated Series just a few years later. As always, thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more videos just like this.